up guys, welcome back to the channel. Allow me to sit down and actually explain where this car came from. For the people who've been here since I've had this car, which is very few, then you know kind of the sort of stuff I did to kind of get to where the car is at right now. And for the people who are new, allow me to explain where this car came from, because to you guys it just appeared out of nowhere. But a little over a year ago I bought this car cash. So the main purpose of buying this car was to add another project car to the channel. At the time I only had the Focus ST and I was still in the process of modding that, but I knew eventually that it would slow down a little bit. Now a car is never really done being modified for the most part. You're always going to want to like change it up, do something new, buy new wheels, whatever, wing. But that car, it was slowly slowing down. And I just wanted a variety. I didn't want it to be all just Focus ST content. I wanted to add a variety to the channel, like a different project. So the main purpose, and I bought this car cash, and the main purpose of that was actually fix it to get it back to where it looked like, and then, you know, start modding it. So again, a little over a year ago I bought this car. It was front-end crashed. It was on the passenger side. The cork support was all pushed in, the head, the hood was all pushed in, the airbags deployed, and the windshield was actually really cracked. I gotta replace that. That's probably the last thing I do. Obviously the car wasn't drivable when I went there to buy it, so then I had to tow it home. A couple days later, I went over the damages, and it looked like how it looked in the pictures. Cork support was pushed in on the passenger side, the hood was all dented and pushed back. Fenders were all good. The wheels were a little towed out, obviously with that type of impact, as you can see. I was like, okay, cool. So the first thing I did was I outsourced another cork support for this car. And I think I got that in like the few weeks that I've had it or whatever. So I got that, and then I found a guy that can actually weld it on for me. And again, I'm giving you guys a summary. I'm not gonna tell you each and everything. I'm gonna basically like give you like chunks of what happened. So I outsourced the cork support. That actually found a guy that actually welded it on for me. So then I took it to him, and he was going to weld it on, but then he noticed that the subframe was bent. Now he told me subframe, so then again, I blame this on me for not knowing, my lack of knowledge, and at the same time it could have been a miscommunication. But he told me the subframe is bent, and if he welds it on, it's going to be crooked. So then I was like, oh, okay, so whatever. So I quickly hopped online, tried to find another subframe, found one, bought it, and we went to change it. By the way, that was not the best thing because I didn't have an engine hoist. So again, my fault. The engine, we actually had to support the engine with a jack stand, and it was like some jack stand from Walmart, so it was not the best thing. So we changed that. When I took the old subframe out and laid it down next to the new one, I realized that the subframe wasn't bent. So like whatever. So put the new one in, and that project took like all day, simply because I didn't have the right tools for it. But got it done. And I think it was either the same day or the next couple of days. I was just looking around. I think Chris was the one who pointed out that the actual frame of the car is bent on the driver's side. So it's not even anything dramatic. Some people will be like whatever, but it was just a little buckle. Fast forwarding a little bit down the line, a couple months. I was talking to this guy that knew a shop that actually could weld and pull the frame for me. So then we got to talking, and then he gave me the shop name, number. I went down there to talk to them to see, you know, like when I could drop it off and kind of like get a feel for the shop. So he gave me the exact date. I bought it in on that date. I had to tow it down there, obviously. The shop was like an hour-ish away from where I live right now. Towed it down there, bought the subframe, he welded it on, and I think it was the next week. So I dropped it off on a Thursday, and then that next Wednesday, he called me and told me it was done. So when I pulled up to the shop, the first thing I saw was this car. It was next to a fence. Like kind of tucked away-ish, and it looked exactly like this. So the fenders were on, hood was down, and the radiator support was on. So then we got there, lifted the hood up, and all you saw was gaps. And so right away, like my heart dropped. I was just like, oh, like, you know how like when you're so excited for something, and then when it's not up to your standards, like you don't know whether, like you don't really know how you feel in that exact moment. It's just like, are you serious? Like. It's kind of like a vibe killer. Like it's just like not a good feeling at all. So notice that it wasn't to my standards. So I was like, at that point I was like, whatever. Like I want the car back. I don't know. Like I shouldn't have took the car back, but I did. So bought it home. Me and Chris was actually putting the engine bay back together, looking at, you know, the weld job. It was terrible. Like that was literally that was the worst. Anybody can, I'm not a welder, don't get me wrong, I'm not a welder, but anybody can spot a good weld and a bad weld. That was literally the worst weld job I've ever seen in my whole entire life. So me and Chris were looking at the weld job, and for some reason, I think I took off the fenders to look at it. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So we took the fenders off to look at it, and there were like gaps like 3 fingers big. And at that point I was furious. So the very next day, I contacted the guy, like, this is like totally unacceptable. And the first thing that he said, because I sent him pictures of everything, and then I called him and I asked him, like, what do you think about that? And the first thing he said was, I can tell you that that's not the color we worked on. Like, at that point, I lost it. I was like, how are you gonna sit here and tell me that that's not the car you worked on? You tell me that it's not the same, like, the same color, it's a MIATA. Like, anybody can spot a MIATA. Like, I don't know, I was just like mind blown that he said that. So, the outcome of that conversation was basically I asked for a full refund, like no questions asked. I want every cent of my money back. That's unacceptable. So I ended up getting a refund of that, and I actually was able, because even though it was the terrible job, the subframe radiator support was still welded on. So I actually ended up contacting the first guy that attempted to weld it on, and I was in desperate need. I asked him if he can please fix it, if it is fixable. He told me it was fixable, but it will be a pain in the butt to fix it. So I ended up dropping it off to him. I think it was that same week or the very next week. He had it for 3 weeks because I think he was busy with another project. And then fast forwarding to this time, I got it back last Sunday, which was 3 days ago. And as you know, the radiator support was actually a different color. I guess it came off of a silver car. So the same day that we got it back, I went ahead and painted it so that it matches the rest of the car. Because as you guys know, not only are headlights pretty difficult to find for this car, the bumper is too, unless you buy it brand new, obviously. So that's probably what I'm gonna have to do for the bumper. So in the meantime, I didn't want to have a silver radiator support in a red car. So I went ahead and painted it, got new headlights for it because I needed new headlights, and this is basically where we're at now.